Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the profound methodology behind our ultimate cosmic destination. We're talking about a fascinating framework that literally bridges the massive gap between the infinite, expansive universe and our everyday, grounded human experience. So we've talked before about this ultimate destination, right? The unity of God, humanity, and love. But the big question is, how do we actually get there? Well, this grand synthesis relies on three absolutely indispensable pillars. You can think of them as radiant, converging beams of light: absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. And look, these aren't just your standard religious doctrines. No, they are profound philosophical mechanisms, the actual gears that align us as finite human beings with the infinite architecture of the cosmos. Okay, let's break these down. The first pillar is absolute faith. Now, forget everything you've heard about faith being this blind, passive belief in the unknown. That's not it at all. Instead, I want you to picture a massive geometric root system anchored incredibly deep into a turbulent ocean. In this framework, absolute faith is active. It's a zero-degree alignment with the original cosmic blueprint. It's essentially this unbreakable internal foundation that allows us to stand completely firm against external chaos, giving us the root system we need to grow a truly unselfish life. Moving on to the second pillar, absolute love. This is the active, moving force of the universe. Imagine a brilliant central core just continuously, actively pulling scattered elements together. That is what absolute love does. It means giving 100% of yourself for the sake of the whole, completely forgetting you even gave it, and then just giving again. It acts as the ultimate cosmic gravity. It's literally the connective tissue that takes scattered, disconnected individuals and synthesizes them into a beautifully harmonious, connected body. Then we have the third and, honestly, probably the most misunderstood pillar, absolute obedience. Now, when we hear obedience, we usually think of subjugation or giving up our freedom, right? But in this cosmic paradigm, it's actually the ultimate triumph over the ego. Think of it like a flawless crystal vessel catching a beam of light perfectly. It's this voluntary, incredibly joyful emptying of the self. And what that does is create a state of zero friction between human action and heavenly will. Now, what's really fascinating is how this framework completely dismantles how we normally view reality. We tend to look at the universe as this illusion of cold physics, just a frozen, blind machine driven by strict mechanical laws. But actually, the true prime mover of existence is what's called Shimjung, the cosmic heart. It's an explosive, foundational impulse to share joy through love. So the universe isn't some cold, unfeeling machine at all. It is, at its core, an engine of heart. And that realization brings us to a pretty staggering number: 138 billion. This framework really forces us to pause and realize that 138 billion years of astrophysics wasn't just some random accident. I mean, consider the sheer, mind-boggling scale of the cosmos. Billions of galaxies, each packed with billions of stars. This was an agonizing, painstaking preparation by a creator desperate to welcome a partner of love to Earth. Every single supernova, every expanding galaxy, they were all just stepping stones to build a home for humanity. In science, they actually call this the strong anthropic principle. The impossibly delicate balancing of dark matter and dark energy, it wasn't a mathematical fluke. It was a grand, meticulous educational setup. To put it into perspective, if the initial expansion of the universe had differed by even a microscopic fraction of a percent, we literally wouldn't be here. The cosmos has essentially been a 138 billion year incubator, carefully setting the physical stage for its ultimate object of love, us. The universe has, quite literally, been waiting for you.
So, that begs the question, if the universe spent 138 billion years preparing for us, how do we actually fulfill our cosmic purpose? Well, we look to what's called the family greenhouse. The family is our supreme earthly training ground. It's where the daily friction of just living together washes away our egos. It helps us master love in a controlled, incredibly nurturing environment.
And this training builds so naturally over the course of our lives. It starts right at the beginning in the children's realm, where we learn trusting filial piety simply by receiving grace. Then we expand outward to the siblings realm, learning cooperation and social harmony with those around us. Next up is the conjugal realm, this sacred unification where two distinct halves come together to form a creative whole. And finally, we reach the absolute pinnacle, the parental realm, which embodies unconditional sacrifice. It's about giving endlessly without ever asking for anything in return. When you perfect these four realms, something really incredible happens to the family structure. It completely transforms. It goes from being this flat biological hierarchy into a dynamic 360-degree interactive sphere. Love just flows perfectly across all relational trajectories in a continuous, energetic exchange. It creates a resilient, totally unbreakable connected body. And this brings up a genuinely fascinating paradox. Think about it. 95% of the cosmos operates on automated grace. Galaxies spin, nature grows. It all happens automatically via cosmic law. But humans? We are the 100% exception. We are born profoundly unfinished. We don't just grow automatically, like a spider instinctively spinning a perfect web on its very first try. No, we require deeply vulnerable trial and error to truly grow and develop. So why did the Creator leave this huge blank space for us? It's because the most vital elements of life, things like love, morality, and character, simply cannot be automated. The cosmic architecture is only completely finished when we take that massive 95% of cosmic providence and we add our own 5% of autonomous responsibility. Human free will is, without a doubt, the ultimate missing puzzle piece. Now let's fast forward to our modern technological era, because this philosophy perfectly frames the future. Enter the digital handshake. As we develop artificial general intelligence, or AGI, human moral consciousness absolutely has to supply the core of true love. We bring the moral heart and deductive reason to the table, while AGI provides the raw inductive reality and computational power. This perfect give-and-receive alignment is the only way to ensure technology doesn't become a weapon. And by stepping up and fulfilling our 5% responsibility, we actually elevate ourselves to what's known as Homo amans, the loving human, or the second creator. Let's really think about what that means. This is a human who completely fuses heart, which is unconditional love, with logos, the strict laws of physics. A second creator has the power to bring the cosmos to reality without destroying it, firmly anchoring AGI as a tool of blessing for universal harmony. When we fulfill this responsibility, humanity finally graduates from the realm of indirect, law-based growth. We transcend the training ground entirely and make this massive leap into the direct dominion. And to be clear, this isn't about just disappearing into some cosmic void. It's a triumphant arrival at the very center of the universe. We start operating purely on the frequency of infinite heart, completely free from the need for any external governance. Which brings us to the zenith, achieving spiritual apperception. Put simply, this is the moment of absolute, total synchronization. It's the ultimate destination we mentioned right at the start, where human intellect, emotion, and will fuse together perfectly under the absolute governance of heart. It's the moment where the human microcosm perfectly, flawlessly matches the vibrational frequency of the infinite macrocosm. All of this leaves us with an incredibly profound reality to consider. The universe spent 13.8 billion years preparing the 95% foundation. But the masterpiece? It remains totally unfinished without you. So, as we stand here at the precipice of a brand new era of intelligence, ask yourself, how are you going to step up? How will you embrace absolute faith, love, and obedience and wield your 5% responsibility to become the ultimate moral anchor for tomorrow's universe?